But frequency-wise, this is what I know. So my disclaimer is that what I be telling you right now is maybe absolutely right. Give it 5 minutes and maybe completely BS. And at birth, part of the group consciousness was that I don't understand what's going on, and this is the energy of era, of time. A but is always a belief under transition. But it's always about your belief systems. Eventually you're going to want to change it. So, what I'm picking up right now simply is the yang energy came in really strong, came very dominant over the yin. The yang represents male, the male energy, the properties of the yang. And it came in, and it was time for the yin to be submissive. It was all intention. We're coming back to unity energy, and it's about integration. It's not about division. We are still going to live in a world of polarity, but it's going to be more balanced polarity, more harmony. So her second chakra has everything to do with relationships. And not just relationships to the external with like things and people. It is the relationships with the archetypes, the things that she doesn't see. Why we create the stories we do. Why we have the relationships we do. And feeling all of those frequencies. That is what you need to be educated in. So we're going to help you externally, but we also have to help you internally so that you can start building the internal armor, not of fear, but of the actual understanding. And once you start building the understanding, then you will not be putting the energy cords out there to bring these stories to you so you don't have to be in hell. So you're learning to create a heaven on earth here. Okay? Does that make sense so far?
Mm-hmm.
See, now I'm not all up here. I'm actually allowing the energy now to come through, so the oxygen's going in. It doesn't matter how much I'm intaking, whether I need to exercise or not, it's not about that. She's actually allowing it to come through now.
I feel a little more safer, because if that 1-year-old doesn't really understand what that was, she's not going to be able to heal it with that, because she doesn't have, 1-year-old didn't have the understanding of it.
And so, let's explain a little bit further about this. I don't care how old you are now. We know that you're in your 40s. You know, we think that the 40-year-old's running the show. No, it's your program. It's that moment in time when you made a decision that's now become limited. It worked for you then, not now. Your strategies, we always create them. And it's the 1-year-old. It's the continued story. The reason why the continued story has to happen is because you need to go back and collect your energy. Your energy then said, oh, since this happened, now it's my identity. Okay, you over-identified with that particular incident. Now your identity is here. Anytime you have an identity, your personal power says yes, whether it's good or bad. Okay? Now to understand the language. We know that you're moving forward. Consciously, you're making all the effort. And then you have all these programs that you don't know that's stopping you from your progress. Okay, so why am I not the spiritual leader or teacher? You know, why? There's really no reason for it. And she gave you a clue, because the clues that came up in life where she would have her family members say something criticism-wise about spirituality or about what her choice was that she wanted for who she wants to become or be, because she already is. She just still believes that that's wrong. It's not the family, but she made a decision that it's wrong to be in spirituality. See? And you made this inside the womb at birth, 1 to 5. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay? You made the decision that it's wrong. How is she going to prove it to herself? Well, she's got to have the external back her up. So, 1, she'll have her family members say these things to her, and then she can go, yep, see, told you so. I got proof. Okay? Things that you can't see are, well, see, let's go back to the external if you can't see. So when they come up and they touch you, or they pull your hair, or you feel cold, and all the definitions of it was to be frightened of it. I mean, look at what media does with paranormal movies.
Yeah.
Psychic investigators. They hype up on the fear. Nobody usually likes a feel-good movie. If you're going to pay that money, you want to be scared out of your wits or have a drama or something.
They put the twist on it. They put the twist on it.
Because that's what sells. But what's that do for our programming? How does that help us define what we know? And we didn't know how to define. So not only are we bringing the awareness, but we have to first understand how she defines it, why she defines it, who defined it, and why did she choose it that way, and is there another definition that she can look at the catalog of life and choose, oh, you know what, I want that way. Okay, so right now, we know the 1-year-old is in charge, and that frequency is putting out there about your choices, what you're supposed to do, and at 1 years old, she learned how to deal with it, created a false self-assuredness to be able to say, okay, this is how I handle it, this is how I handle it. As she gets older, when the continuous story would play out, she would deal with it, and then the newness would wear off, the frequency would wear off, happen again. Now it's become more natural that it's like, oh God, now it's just life. But now you have to focus on the fact you're sick or something else is happening in your life, and you're like, why do I have that drama? Well, it's part of that marker. You don't even hear it anymore. And the reason that we're looking at this is because we've been doing healing, and healing will always be a part of your life, because we're untwisting the dealing. Ego only knows the positive and negative aspect of how to create in the illusion. And everybody gets very confused about what is ego. First we take that step to say, it's that. It's wrong. But life is an illusion. How do we get to interpret it? Well, ego was a tool to help us identify with matter. We're the ones that chose to use our free will to over-identify with it, with emotions or with the story. But we needed to learn, what is this all about? So we learned the 360-degree mirror perception, and then we got to decide what do we want to do with it. Most of the time, we've already learned the positive learnings from it, and there's always a continuous lesson to be learned from it. But the positive learnings, once you're done with it, you're pretty much stuck in it. So now we're going to help you get out of the rut of claiming your identity. Go over here and you got to pick up your personal power.
Okay.
It's like when kids go to school and they leave for college, they've left all of their happy memories, their sad memories, everything about them at their house. They go off and they feel homesick. That's because they didn't take their power with them. They didn't take their memories with them, or their residue of who they are with them. And so then they start to get sick. Car accidents. People get in car accidents and they leave their residue there. Not intentional. It just happens. This is where it's marked. And I have done a lot of healings where we've had to go back and get their personal power on that so that they could then become more whole, and so their identity isn't about the accident. Okay? So we're reclaiming your power and helping you re-identify by the choices you want to make. And the biggest way to do it is you have to take the emotions off. But we'll see how far we get. It's maybe an ongoing healing.
So my 40-year-old is going to go back and reclaim the power from the 1-year-old. Because the 1-year-old no longer needs to be in charge now.
If you were to look at the 1-year-old right now, just relax. And let's bring that 1-year-old up. And she's told you a bunch of stories. Is she happy? Is she scared? What's she doing?
Yeah, she's scared.
What is she doing? Where's she sitting? What's going on? What's the environment?
She don't feel good.
Okay.
She doesn't feel good. Her head hurts.
Okay. What is it she doesn't want to do?
Look at it.
Okay. Now, if we were to ask her, which I'm going to ask, maybe I'm gonna ask in the 40-year-old or the 1-year-old. So it's just the asking of the subconscious mind. As we're communicating with the 1-year-old, is this the way you live every single day? Do you want to be saved? But is this part of your safety blanket? This is all you know. Do you know that there's other stuff out there? Do you want something better than this? I want to play. I want to be happy. Okay. All right. Thank you. So you're able to tap into this. How do you know? Is it a feeling?
Yeah, it's a feeling.
It's like a memory?
Yeah, I immediately went to, like I was just frozen. Like, I don't want to go there.
Okay. And this is how part of her unconscious lives. Okay. It doesn't understand what was happening. Now all of a sudden I'm feeling her spleen kick in. And the spleen meridian, and it's different than spleen. The spleen meridian is all about your self-esteem. So she may be 40 and she has her self-esteem to some degree, but then in certain areas it's lost. Well, where it's lost is that we go back to the identity of the 1-year-old. And see, now I'm feeling The mucus starting to create the body. I'm feeling gassed, so sorry if I burp. You're not sure if you want to take it in. Okay, so your body's not even sure, because so you took some energies in, and you're not sure how to process it. And again, the spleen meridian is about hopelessness, helplessness. You can't control the events, and totally distrust. And see, and the picture's going to keep coming until I figure out what they're telling me.